Good morning, y'all. Taylor here with y'all 106.7. We are here in the Red Wing Shoes studio, and today we have a very special guest because I'm a huge fan, singer-songwriter Miss Julie Roberts. Welcome to y'all.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, I told you in the hall I'm such a fan. I'm kind of obsessed with you, so I'm just really excited to talk to you. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We'll go right out of the gate. First things first, your show at Chiefs on Broadway, because I know there's still a few tickets available on October 18th, because it's the anniversary of Breakdown Here. Is that what I read?
Yes, or Breakdown Here. Actually, my whole first record. It's been 20 years, which is crazy. Hard to believe that it's been 20 years since I released that record. And so this is the second anniversary show that we are playing at Chiefs. We played early summer, I think Memorial Day weekend. I'm not sure.
And it sold out because I tried to get tickets.
You did?
Yes, it was sold out.
Okay. Well, it was so much fun. And then they asked if we wanted to do it again in October. And we were like, well, yeah, because, when you live in you just don't play in Nashville a lot. And this venue is just so special. Eric Church's venue, and he's just made it like a performance venue. And there's seats, and it just is like it's a great place. And he just made it for, I think, singers, songwriters, and people like himself. And I'm excited. I'm excited to get back, and excited they're having us.
It is a great venue downtown too. There's also a level of like intimacy to it because of the church pews. It kind of gives Ryman vibes, the neon steeple.
Totally.
Very special. Downtown needed that.
Yeah, it's totally different from a lot of venues, and I love like that. Like you said, the church pews, and then the stained glass and all it's beautiful.
Well, let's talk about Breakdown Here, because there's so many songs on that album that I just love, and I play them on guitar. I'm just going to read them off so that I don't mess them up. Breakdown Here, Rain on a Tin Roof, Wake Up Older, If You'd Have Called Yesterday, The Chance. Those are like my top 5 favorites, which is like half of the album.
Yes.
But I would love to know your favorite song on the album, and then talk to me about creating it, because that was your debut album. It was self-titled, Julie Roberts, right?
You know what? This was a project kind of started over time, because I went to finish college here in Nashville. And after I graduated at Belmont, I got a job as a receptionist at Mercury, and then eventually became an assistant to Luke Lewis, who is head of Mercury Records. And he gave me a pay raise and said, if you're a singer, don't tell me, because I don't want a singer answering my phones. But at night, I was a singer. I was playing anywhere I could in town, and it's hard to get gigs. We were playing in laundromats and pizza restaurants, and one of the guys playing with me shared an office with a producer in town named Brent Rowan. And Brent Rowan, he asked him to come to the laundromat to hear us play, and he said, no events, not coming to the laundromat. Can I hear something of, and who is your singer in the band? And he said, well, was the receptionist at Mercury. Now she works for Luke. And he said, oh, I've met Julie. So anyway, he listened to this recording we made in college. And then he called me one day and he said, I don't like this music, but I like your voice. Can we start recording at night? So it started way back then when I was an assistant, and I was recording at night with Brent Rowan. And finally, Brent, we were really proud of some of the songs, and some of the songs made the record. Some that you mentioned, Rain on a Tin Roof and Breakdown Here, were on that initial. And also, I think I Can't Get Over You was on there. But he started taking that CD around Nashville to the labels and not having much luck, so I kept answering phones. And finally, he said, hey, can you get me on Luke's calendar, who is my boss, and I'm not supposed to be a singer. And I said, no, I'm not supposed to be a singer, and I can't get fired. He said, if you can get me on his calendar, I promise you I won't get you fired. So I went to Luke and I said, hey, Luke, Brent Rowan is working with this new artist, and he would like a meeting with you. And Luke didn't ask me who the artist was, and I know that was God working on my behalf. And he said, yeah, find a spot on my calendar. And the day came, and thankfully, Luke said, he stopped the CD and he said, who is this girl? I want to meet her. And he said, it's your assistant. She's right outside. And it took him a while to say anything to me, I think, because he didn't know what to do. He eventually played it for the rest of Mercury Records at a retreat that they were having and didn't tell him it was me. And when they said they liked it, that's when he came back to me and he said, we want you to finish making your first record for Mercury. And I need a new assistant, and my assistant definitely cannot sing. And so that was the end of 2003. We finished the record, and the first single, Breakdown Here, came out February 2004. And that record means so much to me. Every song on that record, I never get tired of singing, even after 20 years. And being able to have a show like this where we focus on this whole record and we sing every song on this whole record, it's just like a dream show for me. Because even back then when it was a new record, we didn't sing every song, you know. So I'm just excited to celebrate this. And this record took me so many places. I'd never really been outside of South Carolina, where I'm from, or outside of Nashville. So I was able to, you know, travel this whole country singing that record. And it will always be special to me.
Oh my gosh, what a story too. And like, I can only imagine how you felt too, because it's so common for people like pick a lane, you know, you can't be on the business side, you can't be on the artistry side. And you were like, what do I do? I'm sure you felt so conflicted. So
I not really. I
well,
knew what I
I mean,
wanted to
but
do.
I mean, like it would put you in a
that
weird
moment,
spot.
yes.
Right.
And my mom had just moved here and we had just bought a townhouse in west side of Nashville. And I knew I couldn't lose my job because I had a mortgage. Right. And that's what I told Brent. He said, I promise you won't lose your job. And I don't think Brent would have told him it was me if he had not liked it.
Right.
So I don't know. Thankfully don't know. Thankfully, I don't know how it went that way, but he liked it. So.
Did you take that Breakdown Here to radio?
Yes, that was my very first single.
And it's streaming incredible still.
Yeah, I know. It's just, to me, I love story songs, always have. Mm-hmm. And that song was written by Jess Brown and Jason Matthews. And I heard that song when I was a student at Belmont still. I went to the Bluebird Cafe. And Jason played it in the round. And I went up to him and I said, I'm going to get a record deal and I want to cut that song because that song is about my mom. And you know what? Thank God that when I started working with Brent, that song has still not been recorded. And so we just changed a couple of the lyrics to, you know, to make it be like a girl singing it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, people still sing it back to me. And I don't know. I'm very, very blessed with that song. And I love singing it live. And actually we've been doing it twice on these special shows. Once at the front and once at the end. Because we do the record in order. And it's number 2, I think, on the record. So we don't like to end with, well, anyway, we do it twice.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also like the lyrics, it's the storytelling aspect of it. It's so emotional, but it's also the way you sing it. Like you can hear the emotion in your voice and you kind of have that, you know, that deep voice that people connect with. And so is the chance about your mom as well?
It is. It is. And that one still resonates today with me. 20 years later, you know, the line in the chants that says, I'll never sit on the sidelines in life. I'll dance every dance while I still have the chance. And last week I was speaking for others living with MS because after my debut record came out, I was diagnosed with MS. And I realized another purpose, and I was so fulfilled meeting others with MS and sharing my story and hopefully telling them that you don't have to sit on the sidelines in life. You can dance every dance or whatever your dance is, you know, while you still have the chance. And so that song, when I recorded it, was about Mama because she had just moved to Nashville after I graduated college and started her life over at 50. And it was the happiest I'd ever seen her, and she deserved it. And that's why I recorded it. But now I think of it differently. Still Mama's story, but I think of it and that I want others, whatever they're dealing with, because everybody's got something. And for me, it is I'm speaking to others with MS. I want them to have that message. So that song, again, it's just I never get tired of them.
Mm-hmm. So. It inspired me to move. So
it did.
If that helps at all, yes.
Good.
Just so inspiring. And then was it your second album, Men in Mascara? I love that one too. You're so good at heartbreak songs because you make them so empowering, and you're like just crying and feeling like a queen at the same time. Have we experienced a lot of love and loss in our life, or what connects us to those type of songs?
You know what? It always goes back to my mom. You know, I'm from a home of in South Carolina, domestic violence, and my childhood growing up wasn't that fun, and she would take us out of, my sisters and me, out of our house, middle of the night, to Mama's house, who's my grandmother, who lived like right across town. And on the way there, she turned up country music, and that was Mama's escape. And it was the sad, traditional country music that I love and that she listened to. And I just started singing it and connecting to it because I saw it took her away, but it also took me away. And so Mama's life actually is what drew me to those type of songs, the story songs and the realness of those. But yes, I have had some life experience with love and loss. But I did finally meet my soulmate and got married when I was 39.
Congratulations. And you have a beautiful baby.
I do.
You're a mama. So your mama's your muse. And now you said that your baby's going to grow up probably singing because he's singing to your songs as well.
You know what? Yes, his name is Jackson, and he just turned 3. And he used to love the song on my first record, Pot of Gold. Mm-hmm. And then he liked Unlove Me. But now every time we're in the car, I'll say, what do you want to hear? He says, Bruno Mars. And then he can tell me which Bruno Mars song. And I mean, he loves Bruno Mars. And so I think, and he likes his little play microphone, and I don't know. We'll see.
So cute. I wonder where he gets that from. Your new music, Ain't in No Hurry, released in 2022. I was listening to that this morning. Obviously, I've heard it before, but I wanted to talk about my favorite songs from the album. But then I stumbled across the fact that Waylon Jennings was a co-writer, and also Jessi Colter on the songs, and Shooter Jennings was one of the producers on the album.
Yep. So Shooter and I played a show back when I was touring for one of those first 2 records. And I remember it was in Columbia, South Carolina, and I met him. That was the very first time I met him, and we were just playing a festival. It was like a hey, bye. Years later, he wrote to me on email, and he said, hey, he said, we met years ago, and he said, I don't think that you've made your career record, and I want to help you get back out there, because I had taken a little bit of a break. We had gone through the flood, and, you know, dealing with the aftershock of telling the industry I had MS. I could still play shows, but they were just scared that I couldn't. And so dealing with that. And anyway, Shooter said, I've always believed in you. He said, and I want to help you make a new record. I said, okay. I said, we just got through the flood. We just rebuilt our house. And I said, he said, just get to Los Angeles and we'll figure out how we'll pay for the record later. And I said, okay. So I spent the next few years going back and forth to LA, working with Shooter, because that's where he lives, in the studio on this new record, Ain't in No Hurry. And he brought me, one day in the studio, he brought me a piece of a song that Waylon had started writing that he had found. And he said, don't know what he was thinking with this song, but this is Devil's Pool is what it's called. And he said, can you finish writing it and we'll record it? And I said, okay. And so I took it and I just made up my own story because I love story songs. And thankfully Shooter liked it and we recorded it. And Jessi Colter, yes, is also on there. I love her. She wrote a song called I Think You Know, and that was actually one of the first songs Shooter played for me when we started working in the studio. He said, hey, my mom just wrote this song. And he said, I want to play it for you, see if you like it. And I loved it. So, yes, I'm very proud of that record. I started in LA with with Shooter Jennings, and then I finished it with Erin Enderlin here in Nashville.
That is so neat. The opportunity to write a song with Waylon, but also I love the album in itself.
Thank you.
How did you decide to collab with Jamie Johnson for Music City's Killing Me? Because I love that one as well.
So we were I was with Shooter in the studio, and I kind of backtracking. I told you that he said, I don't think you've had your fair shot. I want to help you. And I said, okay. So we get into the studio, and we were kind of just getting to know each other. And he said, so what have you been listening to? And at the time, I was listening to a lot of Waylon Jennings. Mm-hmm. And he said, what do you like of his? And I said, New York City's Killing Me. And I said, but I've been thinking, I said, I came out here because you believed in me and you wanted me to make a record out here with you. And I said, so I wonder if we could say Music City's Killing Me, and have somebody that kind of also gets me. And he said, I think Jamie Johnson gets you to get your music and your story, and let's ask him. Well, first we had to ask Waylon Jennings if we could change that lyric, and he thankfully said yes. And then Jamie is on it, and he has one of the best voices in the whole world, and the way he interprets a song is just he's always been a favorite of mine. And we were on labels together, both he might have been on Mercury with me, but I just know they sent us to boot camp together. And I will never forget one day in the gym with Jamie, and I'm in my workout outfit, and they're having us do sit-ups, and he's in jeans, and he said, this is the last time you're ever going to see me in this gym. And I mean, and I said, okay. And and it was the last time. And you know what? That's what I love about him. He's just so honest. He's honest with his songwriting. And he's like, they don't like me the way I am. And I just love that about him. So I was so happy that he sang on that track for me. And I've been able to sing it live with him a few times, which has been so much fun.
Well, you sound incredible together. I think your vocals complement each other really well.
Thank you so much.
Who did you grow up listening to? And I'm also curious, this is like two questions. Who did you grow up listening to? And then you said your music, when you first got signed, they said it's not, I like the voice, but not the music. So I'm interested in what that sounded like before you started tweaking it a little.
Okay. So I think, so that was Brent. He said, I like your voice, I don't like the music. And the music that we recorded it in college, and it was all new. We were all new to it, and I just think it just needed to be developed a little bit more. Mm-hmm. The style and, what I loved, the traditional elements of it was there. It just needed work, needed to be, Brent's this amazing guitar player, and I think he was listening to it from that set of years. Mm-hmm. And then growing up, I listened to what Mama listened to, and she listened to, and I watched Hee Haw and the Mandrell Sisters, but Mama listened to Patsy Cline and Tammy Wynette, and another song that Shooter and I did on the record is the cover of K.T. Oslin called Do Ya, and Mama listened to her all the time. And so Mama listened to a lot of women, and all the women told those stories that just connected with her. And I don't know, I connected to that. Yeah. I love it. My dad was also a music lover, but not country. Eventually, I think he started liking country, but he listened to what are the guys with the long beards? ZZ Top. And I only know that because he had their records there. Yeah. But I think in a way, some of the music my dad listened to also influenced me. Mm-hmm. He would have been very proud of the Waylon Jennings song. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he is proud in heaven, but
absolutely,
he did like that kind of sound.
You can hear a little bit of all those influences in your music, I feel like, in obviously a different way.
Yes.
It's very cool.
Thank you.
So what's next for you? We're looking at this Chiefs show on October 18th, and then, we're going to take some time off for the holidays.
Probably. Yes. I like to enjoy, I always wanted to be a mom. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if I was going to ever get married, girl, because I had only ever seen bad marriages, and I had actually written it off. I was like, nope, I'm going to do my career. I'm going to take care of mama. But I always wanted to be a mom. And so I don't like to miss those moments. Yeah. And so I, want to continue playing these, hopefully these 20th anniversary shows on the weekends. And maybe my son can come with me to some of them.
Oh, yeah.
Just so he can see. I think he understands what I do because he sees us rehearse with the band. But
has he ever been to like a show and seen it live on
stage? But he was little.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought him to Chiefs last time, but he didn't stay too long. But this time I think he's just a little bit older, Uh-huh. 6 months makes a big difference in a young child. Yeah. But anyway, I'm looking forward to playing more and more of those shows, and I will enjoy. I enjoy the holidays a whole new way now, Christmas and Thanksgiving and even Halloween. Last night, I was pulling out our Halloween decorations because I couldn't find them for like weeks. And I finally went and I found this bin, and I had bought all these costumes for Jackson last year that were too big. And this year they all fit him. And I'm like, okay, Jackson, you've got 3 costumes now. Which one are you going to wear? And I mean, he tried them on this morning. He wanted to put them back on. So I just love those moments, and I don't know. I don't like to miss them, and I'm not going to miss them.
Absolutely. I mean, that's like the biggest job and highest calling of it all. I got to know which Halloween costume he picked.
Well, okay, so I got him, he used to love Mickey Mouse. He still kind of does. So I got him that last year. That's kind of a little bit below his age, I think, but he loved it. And then he loved this little police car. I'll show it to you after we're done. And it's not a police car. It's a police, but a little car wraps around his waist. Oh, yeah. And what he loved about it is it plays a siren. And then he had to try on this little Toy Story Woody that he did wear years ago. And it's too small, but he still wanted to try it on. But we just went to Disney for the first time. And it's really for the first time with me. I'd been as an adult, like doing a show or something, and then I took a day to go to Epcot. But I've never experienced it, and experiencing Disney with Jackson. But anyway, he rode Pirates of the Caribbean, and he wanted to be a pirate then. So we do have a pirate outfit that I think he forgot about. And I didn't bring it out last night because I was like, okay, Jackson, we've already tried on 3 outfits. But I think he'll pick the pirate, but I don't know because he likes to say "arr," I was like, what's a pirate say? And so he loves to say that.
We'll let him wear them all. We'll take him to
You know what? That's what I said. That's what I said to Mama. I said, we'll go to trunk or treat. We'll go. Yeah.
That's
I think so.
Great. So the best way to keep up with you, thejulieroberts.com, and then at the Julie Roberts on social media?
Yes. And they're Instagram and
Instagram, Facebook, all the things.
All the things, yes. And I try to be on there as much as possible.
It's always changing, and it seems like another job in itself, huh? Just having to post and stay engaged and everything.
It is, and sometimes, it's hard for me to post about things when I just feel so bad for the people in the Carolinas and Florida, and I just am praying for them. So I just wanted to say that too, but because we lived through that flood, and so when I'm watching that on the news, it's it just kind of makes me so sad for them because I know what they're going through, losing everything. But yes, that I will be posting, and hopefully I'll see all of y'all, and I'll be signing after the show too. I always try to do that, especially at these shows, and I'll have special 20th anniversary posters and things like that.
Oh, we're so excited. We cannot wait for this Chiefs on Broadway show. A question I do always like to end on is if you could give advice to your younger self or someone moving to Nashville to pursue songwriting, singing, what would you say to them?
You know what? I think I would say to my younger self, I think I would say what Mama always said to me. She said, "We ain't," and she would. This is when we first got email. That's crazy. She would say, "Remember, we ain't scared. You got to go in this meeting. You got to just show them who you are, and don't change." And that was the one thing that Brent, he said, because when he first started taking my stuff around to labels in town, they were like, "She's too bluesy. She's too soulful. It's not pop." And he said, "Julie, you don't have to change who you are." And my mom had always told me that. And I think being authentic and being who you are and showing the world, through your music and your words, what matters to you, I think that is really important. And I would tell my younger self that, because Mama always told me that, not to be scared, to be who you are. And actually, after the flood, when I started my own record label, I got the State Farm check for my car that floated away in the flood. And I started my own record label, and I called it Ain't Scared Records because of that. And so I would just say, don't be scared to be who you are, and just play and do as much as you can. Play laundromats, play anywhere you can, and play for free. That's what we always play for free. Mm-hmm. Because we loved it.
And you started your own label. That's incredible.
Yes. Well, it was kind of, I had to, after I told the industry I had MS, and they let me take the songs I'd been working on, and I said, okay. And I called that record Alive, because we had just been rescued by boat, and I was alive. But I was more alive than I ever had been, and I didn't realize it. So it was, that's why I called it Ain't Scared Records, because of Mama, and because I wasn't scared anymore. Wasn't scared to tell people I had MS. Wasn't scared. I mean, we had just been rescued by boat. Mm-hmm. Wasn't scared to be who I was, truly, who God made me to be. And that's what I think I would want people, young people, to know, or to I guess the advice for them. Mm-hmm. Be who you are.
Amen. We'll end on that. That was great. Julie Roberts, y'all 106.7.